Hello everyone, it's Small Farmer 6710. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to episode 11 on the big 132 model farm diorama display. Things are continuing to stay busy, but as we come into the last week of August, things are starting to kind of wind down a small bit. But then again, we're changing into a different season. We're coming into the end of harvest. Everyone is kind of wrapped up by now, and all the cultivations are starting to begin. The likes of putting in the oilseed rape and start of the autumn cultivations is a beginning. So, a few things go through this episode. We have a demo dates, bit of hay being made, bit of a tractor run going on. So let's get into it, guys. So starting off here in PJ and Derek's farm. As you see here, of course, the cows are heading out just after being finished milking there this evening, and PJ and Derek are just bringing in the last of the bales. Derek's in good health, so he is, thank God. He's just more so keeping a bit of an eye on things and, making sure everyone's doing right. So PJ's just there with or Derek is just there watching PJ's son stacking the bales. PJ is actually out over in Finbar's farm baling up 5 acres of hay with the small square baler. So yeah, the last 3 bales there just need to be stacked up into the heap. So yeah, things are looking good. Nice lot of bales there for the winter. Stack is not too bad, and also the straw bales are stacked up into the shed as well as the hay, and also nicely all stacked up there for the winter time. Glad to have it. Mower and everything all packed up. Shed is fairly crammed, so it is. All the other stuff there, tanker and dumper packed up. So I suppose coming into the town, we have 6930 John Deere, just coming back there from an out farm, about 40 acres of land he has rented out for tillage, and he's just after sowing it all into oilseed rape, so he has all the rape sown. Everyone seems to be doing it with these cultivators nowadays. So they have the APV box on top of it. So this is a Kuhn Optimer, and it has the APV Kuhn box on top, and then just shoots it down in front of the roller, and then the roller packs it in. So feels good system. And here coming through the town, a beautiful outfit, a Fendt 926, definitely a tractor you don't see much nowadays, and a Crone silage wagon. He must be doing some very, very late second or third cut, or even fourth cut, I'm not sure, or just cutting off a paddock that's really strong, too strong for grazing. So I don't know where he's heading off, but he's coming through the town here anyway. Town is pretty busy, as per usual. And then coming into Nice Farm Machinery, place is fairly busy. Tommy and Niall are after getting a bit of an issue there with the 7810 John Deere, and they just said they'd come into Nice Farm Machinery here, see if one of the boys could fix it. I think there's a bit of a burst pipe on the front linkage or something like that. The pipe needs to be made, and a few things needed there for the back end. So I'm not quite sure what happened. Wasn't really told, but came in there a bit of a hurry, tried to get sorted just before they close down for the week. 165.7, I think, or no, it's 11:45. That's us in there getting a service and a few things done. A few diagnostics need to be done as well. There's a man at the counter there just waiting for the parts man to come. He's just busy at the moment. And then 690 Massey, farmers was after collecting his mower. He's going to go mow a bit of silage here, so he is. A bit of work needed done to the bed, so it did. So, bit of a bill he's after paying, but at least he has a good mower now. Happy man. Beautiful Massey 690. Don't see many of these anymore. Looks like it's been resprayed a few years ago. The wheels are shining on it, and definitely these cabs are always used to rot. But this one here doesn't look too bad at all. This would have been the predecessor, a 590 Massey, and then the 690 would have took over afterwards. But yeah, he's coming down into a nice farm machinery here, dropping the tractor in for next week to get a service and a few things done, a few lights fixed, and just to keep her maintained, preventive maintenance. And then coming up the road here, we have a Fendt 936 with a big 6-meter Amazon disc on the back, going off to do a bit of grubbing. As you have to have, after 28 days after the field is harvested, you need to have the stubble cultivated within the 28 days for a scheme or a grant. I'm pretty sure it is. Maybe if you guys be able to tell me more in the comments below. Coming up over here on the hill, I suppose one of Tommy and Niall's drivers is just there in the JCB TM310S, stacking straw onto a lorry, heading for the west. After sending a good few load of straw out of this field for the west, so good to get rid of it, not storing it in the shed for the winter, and it's good to get it sold straight out of the field. And a lorry coming in as well, so just loading up the last few bales there. There's a few more up the field there, but should get it all loaded onto one load. 3 Fords, 3 Q-cab or bubble cab Fords, I suppose you could call them. Ford 6610, a TW25 and a TW30, all heading off to a tractor run locally enough, all for a good cause, and hopefully they'll have a good day. I don't really see any more tractors out heading out to a tractor run, but hopefully there'll be a good turnout and they'll raise good money for a good cause. That's what it's all for. But yeah, 3 very nice examples, I must say. 6610 looks fierce well, and then the TW25 and 30 look very well as well. Coming into Finbar's farm, Finbar's delighted to get the hay made. PJ's is kind of more doing it for a favour. He has much better things he'd prefer to be at, but he said he'd come down anyway. He kind of agreed with Finbar earlier on in the year that he'd make a bit of hay for him, and Finbar's delighted that savage hay, he's after saying. And yeah, PJ just can't wait to get out here. PJ doesn't want to get caught stacking them anyway. He'll be racing out of that gateway if Finbar says, "Oh, will you stay behind here and stack them into the shed?" I think PJ will tell him fairly quickly what he'll think of that. He may get some young lad down the village or something to come stack them. But no, Finbar's happy out. The field is nearly done anyway. All the rest of the gears all packed up, the 390 and the 996. Coming out of the field here now, another man just after finishing up harvest in his Lexian 770, class Lexian, and just after finishing up this field here, he has rented outside of the main road, and he's just pulling out there now. He actually shredded it all into the ground. He actually couldn't get anyone to buy the straw from the field for the price he wanted, so he said it'd work out cheaper just to put it straight into the ground. It'll be more beneficial for the next crop, onwards. So yeah, he's just pulling out there now after finishing harvest. He's no beans to cut. TW2020, I was about to say a TW2025, a TW25 Ford coming down the road here with a 1365 John Deere. If you haven't seen my unboxing video, guys, or my review, please check it out there from last week. A lovely mower, and a lot of you guys commented to put it on a bit of a more matching tractor that would have been at around the time of the year of what these tractors would have been used. This would be more of a, I suppose, a time, you know, the tractor's about 1989 and the mower is similar. So he's going off to mobile silage. A lot of lads going mad to mobile silage now this time of the year. Suppose the weather isn't too bad, and once there's grass there, I suppose no problem. And over here, as I was saying at the start of the episode, guys, there was a Dites on demo. Now just kindly gave an own demo there from Ace Farm Machinery. They were in contact with Tommy and Niall there at the start of the year if they'd like to see a demo Dites. And Tommy and Niall never really tried out Dites, so they haven't. And since they're only down the road, they said, sure, why not? We'll try one out. And they're kind of in the market for a new, second-hand new tractor, but more so of a bigger horsepower class, considering that they have this big Simba cultivator and they need big horsepower to pull it. Now the biggest tractors they have, as you know, are the PM190 and the 7810 John Deere, which 7810 John Deere is doing about 220 or so, but still struggles on the disc. So they kind of realise that they kind of need a bit of a bigger tractor. Anyway, this Dites 7250 TTV, she's the top spec, the TTV transmission, and definitely has enough ponies for this disc anyway. She has the wheel weights on the back and everything, so she's doing fierce well on the ground there at the moment. And the salesmen are just out there just showing them around the tractor, and one of the boys there are just talking to Niall's son Tommy. So they're just having a chat and see how the tractor goes. They have it there for the week, so they'll put it through its paces anyway, between road work, field work and all sorts of things. That tractor won't get a dull moment anyway. And hopefully, yeah, they'll be impressed, and the boys, Ace Farm Machinery, get a good sale of it. PM190 just coming down the road here with the Komatsu PC130 on the back, heading off to a site there to start from Monday morning. Start of a new site there, could be guaranteed 2 or 3 weeks for the digger, so that's a good sign. And yeah, I think they might need a dump trailer as well, tractor and a dump trailer, which is kind of good because coming into the end of summer and things are starting to get quiet again. But yeah, plenty of work going on. Another vintage classic tractor, Massey Ferguson 1200, and a cultivator on the back, going off to a bit of cultivating. Definitely a tractor you don't see on the road anymore. A very, very rare tractor, and not a tractor you see in everyday use. Credit to its owner. Don't know when the boys are going to bring in the hay, but it's been out here nearly over a fortnight anyway. Really starting to rot into the ground. I don't know what the idea of that is, whether they're too busy or what. But coming into Tommy and Niall's yard, fair's busy, so it is. They're after finishing up harvest just there yesterday, and they're just blowing down the combine, ready to put it back into hibernation for the year. They have no beans this year, so the combine will be going into the shed a bit earlier than usual. But yeah, they're just blowing it down, greasing it up before they put it into the shed. So it's after doing fierce well, gave very little breakdown, so that's a good sign, and they'll probably keep it on there for another year at least. No real reason to change it, so there's not, unless they get a good deal on another combine. But I suppose if they do want to increase the acres of the tillage, they would have to look at something more high, increase the capacity and bigger combine to get through the corn. But that one does the job for the moment. Class Arian 640 on a Abbey AP900 spreader. Dung spreader's just after getting taken out of the corner of the yard there, over there at the trailer park. And yeah, they have a good bit of dung to spread, so they said they'd get a move on anyway. They want to spread a bit of dung on all the stubble, and then have a lot of contract spreading as well. So that spreader is more than likely going to be on that class for the good few weeks anyway. They have a good 10 days of spreading to be done at least. Massey A250 just having a rest, parked up there at the moment after a few hard days on the baler. And then grain store looking fairly full, good few 100 tons in there now. And then the Massey 690 baler is parked up there in the shed, just parked there for the meantime before they get a few things together, clear around the yard and pack things up for the winter. Coming on over into the forest, we usually never see anything going on here, but this time we have a Fendt 415 and an NC dung spreader heading up into the forest to go spread a bit of dung onto some tillage ground, and then following it is a JCB 416S, which obviously going to be loading up the spreader. So that's about it, guys, for this side of the model farm, and in general for the rest of the model farm. Fair's busy and great to see things coming into a bit of a different change of season as we're coming into autumn. So hopefully you enjoyed the video, guys. It's been a very busy, action-packed episode as always. Let me know, guys, in the comments below, what was your favourite part of this video? Was it the stacking up the straw? Was it the 4 tractors going off to the tractor run? Was it the PJ not wanting to be square baling? Was it the diets on demo, which I really liked that. I never really done a scene where, there was a demo tractor out on a farm before, so I really like that scene. And I hope you guys do as well. And also let me know, do you think Tommy and I should buy the demo diets? Should they go ahead with it, or should they look at other brands? Let me know, guys, in the comments below. And if you do enjoy, please like, comment and subscribe. And I'll see you again in the next video. See you again soon, and bye for now.